In this video, I will take you through the best settings for your Skyworth Smart TV. Now, over here I have the Skyworth Google TV, but it doesn't really matter the type of Skyworth Smart TV you have, whether it's the Skyworth Android TV or the Skyworth Google TV just like this one. By the end of this video, you should be able to optimize your Skyworth Smart TV for the best picture and sound settings on the TV. Now, first things first, you want to head over to the settings of your Skyworth Smart TV, in this case at the top right corner of the TV. So just scroll over to the settings icon, go ahead and click on the settings icon, and from here you want to head over to the display and sound settings over here. Go ahead and click on it. Now go over to the picture settings of your Skyworth Smart TV. Now coming over to picture mode, once you select this option, you can go ahead and choose any picture mode you want for your Skyworth Smart TV. Usually it is recommended you leave it as standard, but if you want a brighter picture quality on your Skyworth Smart TV, just go ahead and select vivid to make everything brighter, or alternatively you can just go ahead and select movie if you're watching a movie, or the game mode if you have like a console like your PS5 or Xbox connected to your Skyworth Smart TV. But for the purpose of this video, we are going to leave it at movie over here. Now, next thing you want to do is to make sure that your black light is actually set to 100, and then for brightness you want to make sure that this is set to 80. So just increase it until it gets to 80. Now go back to the previous option and then come over to contrast, and then you also want to make sure that this is set to 80 or around that number. Now for saturation, you want to leave it at 40, and for sharpness you want to make sure it is set to 10. So increase this to 10 and then go back to the previous option. Now come over to advanced settings over here, click on it, and then from color temperature over here, you want to make sure that the color temperature is set to standard or warm depending on what feels good in your eyes. But for the purpose of this video, I'll just go ahead and set it to standard. You can leave every other thing over here just as they are, and if you scroll down, make sure you leave everything just the same way they are over here on my TV, and then make sure that blue stretch is actually turned off on the TV as well. Now for gamma, usually in most TVs this is indicated with numbers, but in this case you want to just go ahead and make sure it is set to middle. If you select darker, it automatically makes the picture of the TV darker, and if you select brighter over here, it automatically makes it brighter as well. Over here we have the game mode and PC mode, but basically these are going to be enabled once you connect a gaming device to any of the HDMI ports on your Skyworth Smart TV. You also want to make sure that eye protection mode is set to low, middle or high if you have any eye problem and you do not want the TV to affect your eyes. Color space, you also want to make sure that this is set to auto, and then for color tuner, you also want to make sure that this is enabled, and then you want to make sure that you leave the hue, saturation, brightness, offset and grain just as they are on the TV, so you do not mess up with the settings of the TV. Now for the last option over here, you also want to make sure that this is also enabled and everything over here is set just as they are on my TV. Now that will be all for the advanced settings, and then lastly we have the reset to default. Basically you can go ahead and reset all of the settings we have just made back to default if you do not like the settings. Now coming out of the picture settings, if you come over to the sound settings over here, you can go ahead and make sure that your sound style is set to standard, but if you want to get the best when watching movies, just go ahead and make sure this is set to movie over here. Now you can also go ahead and increase the bass or tremble of the speakers of the TV, so you can just click on it and increase bass, and then click on it and increase the tremble as well. You also want to make sure that surround sound is turned on. This actually gives you a better sound quality on your Skyworth Smart TV. And then over here you want to make sure that you turn off auto volume control. Basically if this is turned on, it automatically changes the volume of the TV depending on the environment. Lastly, you also want to make sure that dialogue enhancement is turned off, and then the down mix mode is also set to stereos. Lastly, you can go ahead and reset the sound settings of your Skyworth Smart TV back to default if you do not like the changes you have made. Now finally, if you come over to the audio output settings over here, you want to make sure that this is set to auto so that it automatically chooses any option for you depending on the content you're watching. Now coming out of the display and sound settings over here, basically this is just your Wi-Fi settings, your account, and then privacy, and then we have apps. Now finally, if you come over to the system settings over here under accessibility, you can go ahead and turn on captions on your Skyworth Smart TV. You have your date and time settings over here, language, keyboard, storage, but then most importantly you want to make sure that system sound is actually turned on as well. Now that is basically all you have to change on your Skyworth Smart TV to get the best picture and sound quality on the TV. If you find this video useful, please make sure you smash that like button and subscribe to this YouTube channel for more interesting tech tips like this one.